Welcome to the Inflection Podcast, where we explore the pivotal moments that have shaped us into who we are today. I am your host, Anebi, and I can't wait to dive into these moments with you. Let's get it. Welcome to another episode of the Inflection Podcast. It's an honor to have here with me, Anna Carmichael from Kraftful. Thank you so much, Anna, for hopping on with me.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's really great to chat.
Yeah. One of the things that it strikes me every time with product management is how some of the greatest product managers have very non-traditional paths. Actually, what's a traditional path for product?
Mhm.
Because it's such a learning at school. It's something you get into, right, through various channels, maybe a developer, designer, realtor, whatever. I've met all kinds of product folks, great product folks with varied backgrounds. So when we connected a while ago, I really thought your background was interesting and your journey into product management. So without further ado, I'd like to jump into that a little bit for, what it looks like for you, right? Making the pivot into product management.
Yeah. I find that really interesting as well. So for me, I got my career started actually in sales. And so I worked at Oracle for a while, a really big tech company, and was on a sales team there for a few years. Really liked it, but decided to go somewhere a little bit smaller. And so I moved to a startup, knew I loved working in startups. And there I did sales and business development and started really working closely with one of the product teams at that company. And that company was called Skillshare. It's an online learning
Well,
platform, really cool company to work for. But I worked with their product team a lot and spoke with customers about pain points and shared a lot of their feedback with the product team. And I loved doing that. And about a little over a year ago, I moved to Kraftful and I joined primarily to build our go-to-market strategy. And Kraftful, the company I'm at now, is a pretty small team and we wear a lot of hats. I know that's something like a lot of people at startups say, but it's really true. I was doing a little bit of sales, a little bit of marketing, and began to talk to a lot of our customers about the issues that they were having and sharing that direct feedback over to our CEO and leadership team to influence the direction that our product was being built in and the strategy of it. So it seemed like a really actually like very natural transition to move from sales to product because my whole philosophy has been like in sales and also product, you're building something or selling something in order to help a company
mhm,
or a person. And so
absolutely.
being like super user centric and customer first has always been like something I've been really passionate about. And I think the like strategic part of product is like how I had an in. But
Yeah,
yeah, I felt like it actually shared more like overlap than I thought because it's just being like curious and asking questions and really caring about the people that you're working with and trying to build for.
absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that's something I found really interesting. It's so easy I don't want to oversimplify product, right? To looking at
Mhm.
customers, having empathy for users, but that's a big part of it because
Yeah,
if you have empathy, right, for your end consumers or customers, then quite naturally you're inclined to build products that they find sticky and they find useful, which makes you a better product manager. Now, there's so many other
definitely.
auxiliary skills, but I think that's huge.
Yeah, that's definitely what I think where the overlap is for me. And there's a lot of other pieces of products that are a lot more technical. And there's I feel like product is you do a zillion things. You do a lot of
Yeah.
different types of things, but I think that core value is definitely like what drives me in product.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's icing on the cake that the flagship Kraftful product allows folks to aggregate feedback from a variety of sources, wherever you're talking to them, and have a single pane of glass and also recommendations from that using AI. Icing on the cake. You're working with a company whose product does that. I would assume your team uses that quite a bit internally for your
Uh,
own self.
yeah, we use it all, all of the time. Yeah, and you're right. Kraftful aggregates like all of the feedback that you have, whether it's interviews with customers or support tickets. And I think being in product, you do have a lot of competing responsibilities, and time is super valuable. And trying to get the most insights that you can from the information that you have while also saving time is really like what we're aiming to do. I mean, and it solves our own pain point as well. Like we talk to users all the time, but going through the feedback can be a little tedious. So putting it into Craftful and then seeing the insights combined is really pretty amazing.
That's amazing. One question that comes to mind, putting myself in the shoes of, let's say, someone with a background similar to yours,
Mhm.
sales, marketing, or something similar. They want to get into product. It feels so nebulous, right? It's like, where do I start? How do I attack this? How do I make a pivot? From your anecdotal experience, or maybe what you've learned even since that, for how you might
Yeah.
do it better, what would you what's a good idea, right? How can I stack it so I can get into it and be in a better position to take on a product role?
Yeah, I that's an amazing question. I think I've been at 3 different companies since I've gone into the workforce, and I think that the companies that I've really grown from and have allowed me to pivot have been on the smaller side. When I was at Skillshare, it was about 150 employees, and Craftful is smaller than that. And these smaller organizations, again, like you wear different hats. You get to try on different things. No day is the same. And I feel like it allows you to build a baseline for a lot of different types of skills and to test out. So like you can totally try your hat on with like marketing. You can totally try your hat on with product or data, and being able to have that opportunity to try on different things and be like, "Hey, I actually really love doing XYZ and I want to lean more into it." I think that's been a really fantastic experience for me, which is like just trying on different things at smaller companies and then leaning in when I found something that I enjoy and I'm also good at. So I think that's probably been the most integral part of that change is
Yeah,
having the opportunity to try on those things. But then also I'll definitely give a shout out to my boss right now, Yana Wallander. She like having people who will back you on
yeah,
wanting
that's
to
huge.
pivot and, like, mentor you is definitely really, like, really huge, and finding those people is awesome. If you have the
I got
opportunity
tried,
to yeah,
but
find someone who, like, you want to learn from and who also wants you to learn and grow as an employee and a human too.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. I concur with that. As I look back on the past decade, that has been key. Like I've worked at all kinds
Yeah.
of organizations, big, small. The smaller ones have really allowed me to pivot really well, wear a variety of hats, compress my experience to learn a lot in a relatively short amount of time. So I couldn't agree more with that. What's your approach to upskilling as a product person, as a product manager?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, so like you mentioned, I moved into product from sales, and that was a big transition, to be quite honest with you. I wasn't the most technical, still am not the most technical person, but I think the first thing that has helped me is you just have to try things. You can't be afraid and recognizing that I didn't know everything. And I still don't know everything. Like it makes me actively want to learn, but it also makes me, you know, go out and try said thing. But then the other piece is like making sure that I am making time to upskill, whether it's like reading blogs on product management or spending time on Twitter. I feel like I follow a lot of product accounts. I follow a few different product newsletters that I get in my inbox. And like
Yep.
specifically, there's a couple on like product led growth, which is really key to our company strategy. So digging into that has been super important. And I try to put time on my calendar every day, and it's 20 minutes where I spend the
I,
first 20 minutes of my day. It's just looking at Twitter or looking at those newsletters. And then
that's cool.
I will also shout out our Kraftful has a ChatGPT plugin, and it's all about it's a product coach plugin essentially. So it compiles information from a lot of different
Nice.
sources of yeah, it's really awesome. So you can ask about different frameworks or product strategy, all of that, and chat with those sources on ChatGPT. So that's also been like a really cool place to learn too. And
I love it.
yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
We'll have to link to that in show notes when this goes live. I'll grab a link to that. Is it on Product Hunt? Is it listed on Product Hunt and a few other places?
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
I can definitely share it over some product hunt.
We outside of professional growth product,
Yeah.
kicking at Kraftful. How do you feel your tank? How do you recharge?
How do I recharge? Yeah, that's an amazing question. I find that recharging is really important to show up at work 100%. And
Yeah.
I'm guessing you probably feel the same from your question. But I love doing yoga. That's like my number one thing. I try to do it before work or like even a midday session to just recharge and then spending time outside too. It's just, it's super key, like
Oh yeah.
hiking or running or just sitting in a park.
Awesome. Yeah, I do find the outdoorsy. I'm on computers all day long and stuff, and being able to
Yeah.
unplug, go analog, go outside, it's huge. And my wife loves the outdoors, our daughter as well. So it's
Oh,
perfect.
good.
I've been
Yeah.
setting
Yeah.
on
No,
the
it's so
outdoor gym.
nice. Yeah. It's so much better with friends as well.
Yeah, that is cool. Thank you so much, Anna, for hopping on the Inflection podcast with me today. I appreciate the gift of your time and sharing your experience with us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. This was great.